Let's do a little comparison, a little Chanel comparison, but let's compare specifically the Chanel vanities. Now we have a newer model vanity that just released at Chanel. We have an older model vanity that released a few years ago, and then we have a vintage vanity. We're gonna talk about all three, the pros and cons. If you're in the market to pick up a vanity, then maybe this will help. You guys probably know if you've been following me that I just have an obsession with bags. I don't know what it is. Makes my heart sing. It makes me happy. I love to collect. I love to rotate my bags. And this channel I created was more a review channel to talk about bags, comparisons, unboxings, reviews, things like that. So if you love bags as much as I do, please consider subscribing and drop by and say hi on Instagram. And if you guys didn't know, I have a small business called Bag Crush where we curate vintage, designer, rare, classic pieces and drop them every week on Thursday. If you guys love vintage pieces or you just love bags in general, come by and say hi. I will drop the information below. But we are just gonna kick off this video. Now, which one should we start off with? Let's start off with the older model. When I say older model, it's not really old. It's like a few years old and they have a newer version now. So I'm gonna go through the pros and cons and what fits and things like that. By the way, you guys, keep your boxes. You just never know. I mean, if you're gonna spend a certain amount, I always wanna recommend keeping your boxes. But this one specifically is the Chanel mini vanity in the box. Chanel is known to make little vanity bags. And when we say vanity, it's really not meant to use as a vanity per se, but more so as a vanity handbag, if that makes any sense. Like obviously there is a classic chain here too, and this bag is intended for you to wear crossbody. She is in a size mini and she is in a gold color. This is almost like between like a champagne gold and a medium gold. The newer Chanel's don't have like that bright 24 karat gold that some of the vintage pieces have. So I just wanted to call it out. Obviously this is in caviar, which is everyone's favorite. And then the timeless CC on the bottom, no fee or anything like that. It is an opening like this. So when you open her up, it is two zippers. And then you open her up, there is a big mirror here. You see how there's card holders. So if you wanted to carry your cards in there or cash, you can. You also have a little area there to put like perfume, like your lippies or whatever, you know? So for a mini bag, I mean, honestly, you can get a lot in here if you just carry mini items. Let me show you what actually would fit comfortably, not like jam-packed. Opening her up, I could put in like a card wallet if I didn't want to use the slots. This one is a YSL one. Okay, I would need to carry eye drops, sanitizer. This one's nice and thin, so I feel like it'll fit nicely. A mini lotion. I always need a compact of some sort. Let's carry two lippies. I usually like to carry a sunscreen too. However, I guess it does fit. This is what it looks like with everything. It's a little too cramped. I wouldn't recommend. I would just take this out. And she does fit. This will be like my essentials. And then my keys will fit in here too. I have small keys. Like I would just carry like my key fob, which will sit in here. But a phone will not fit in here. At least not like my Pro Max. Maybe if a smaller phone it might, but not with that plus everything else. It would just be a lot. Now this does feel a little heavy, I will not lie. I guess on it's fine. Yeah, on it's fine. This is what it looks like. She is definitely like a extremely cute little mini bag. Like I really, really do like her. She fits a good amount of items. So I would say the pro to this is it's Chanel. This one is made really nice. This caviar feels really luxurious and soft. And for a mini, because it's in a box shape, I think it actually fits a decent amount. So obviously it's a mini, right? It's limited to what it can fit. But I think for this size, it actually fits a decent amount. I wish there was a way to adjust the straps to some degree so you can wear her like a shorter, or maybe like add a top handle so you can carry her as a top handle. I think that would be really cute because right now this is more like a crossbody. Even the shoulder I think will look a little weird. I feel like it's more for crossbody because it's so small and so delicate. I definitely think it needs feet. This opening isn't hard necessarily, but it's not the easiest if you're using her as a handbag. So if you're like wearing her crossbody, you're trying to like get it open, it does sometimes. It's just not as smooth because of the box shape, but I mean, that's just the way it is, and you kind of know going into it. But overall, yeah, I don't remember. I think a price point for this one before was in, I'll drop, if I can find it, I will drop it. But I believe this one was around 2000, like mid 2000s back then. So, I mean, yeah, Chanel's not cheap, but I feel like compared to what the prices are now, you're like, oh, it's actually not that bad. Now we will go through the current release of the Vanity. So this one is the current release, and she is the newest Vanity to Chanel's collection. The box opens up this way. Okay, comes in her little dust bag. When you open her up, she is extremely cute. She is this one. So slight differences. Let's hold them up like this. This one feels more structured. This one has a squishiness to it. To be honest, this caviar to me feels different too. This one has more grain in it, if that makes any sense. This one feels more supple. I think it just depends what kind of texture you want. This one feels more substantial, to be honest. This one feels, not that it doesn't feel substantial, but there is definitely, feels a little thinner. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just my impression of it when holding both together. When you open her up, she opens like this. So this one is thinner. This does not have like that same box shape as the other one does. This one also does not have a mirror. It does have the card areas, but it also doesn't have this area for perfume or lipstick or anything like that. So it is more narrow, but let's see if what I had in the other Vanity will fit in here. I would put a thin card case. Even though it has the card slots, for me, I would just rather have a card case. Put my sanitizer. I'm gonna put my Tier compact. It's a little bit thicker. So putting just those items in it, it's already looking pretty tight. The piece will fit. Okay, only one lippy will fit. Two is just too much. And then a lotion like this is also too much. So I would not recommend putting that. So this is what ideally would fit inside. Again, if we were to zip her up, it's also the same idea where it's two zippers around. The CC on this one also is a little bit bigger and it has texture, like the quilting on it in the gold hardware. And then the chain is the classic chain. Compared to chain, I'm curious to see. Okay, so if you look at the chain, they are pretty much the same, I would say, when it comes to size, but the new one has more weight to it. That just from me holding it, I think this one does feel a little bit more substantial. There is more weight and it feels thicker even though it looks the same. So I like it more. Now I like how this one, you can actually take the chain off. So if you wanted to carry this by the top handle, you definitely can. You don't need to have the chain on, but obviously you can have it on. You can probably attach different types of chains. It just makes the bag a little bit more versatile. Whereas the other one, there is no top handle, there is no that. So the pros of this one is I like the chain. I like the fact that it's removable. The top handle is a plus. I wish there was like a back pocket here, you know, just to put like a card or two. I think that'd be really cool. Again, that feet, if only it had feet. I know it's smaller. I think the biggest difference between the two is what it fits. So for me, like if I don't need to carry the essentials, just the very basic, which is basically wallet, key, maybe like a mirror and a lippy, then that's fine. So I guess like if you're not gonna carry a lot, like this will be totally fine. But that one does carry more. So that's a big pro for the other one. Whereas this one, I mean, you know what you're getting into, right? You're purchasing it knowing the size. So here is what it looks like on. I mean, they're both really cute. I think they're really cute on. I love where it hits. I'm 5'5", 5'6" for reference. I think it hits perfectly. Whereas sometimes a wallet on chain when it comes to Chanel can fall really long, but this one does not. So I do think that this one is a good length, but so is the other one. Okay, so that is this one over here. And then lastly, let's talk about this Chanel vanity that I sourced for myself. This is a vintage version. This is one I sourced. This is like that timeless CC collection, also in caviar. This one is like 20 something plus old. Also doesn't have feet. So a lot of vanities, I think most of them don't have feet. Again, this one doesn't have 2 zipper pulls. It only has 1. Okay, and it does have this like zipper pull at the CC. I actually really like this detail. I think it makes it really nice. Zipper to this is actually really smooth to open. It doesn't feel like it'll get stuck. Whereas the other one, sometimes you do need a finagle a little bit, but still overall it's fine. I will show you what the inside looks like. This is a full leather vanity. It doesn't have a mirror or anything. It is lambskin inside, caviar on the outside. There is a lot of space, and it has this compartment here that you could put cards as well. You can actually use this one as a vanity, like put it on your vanity, or you could carry it like this. But you can also wear crossbody, because I kind of just makeshifted it, although it wasn't intended for that. I added these little D-rings, and I just picked up like an off-market chain. This one is like a pearl crush, like off-market chain, which I felt like matched the bag really well, and you can adjust it to any length. So you could make it a crossbody. And let me show you what it looks like if you were to do that. That's what it looks like with the chain. As you can see, this is what it looks like. It drops right here. You can adjust it though, because there is like a little adjuster. But I honestly think this is super cute too. This one will fit a lot because it's a box and it's also bigger. So, you know, same idea, but you can definitely fit a good amount in here. Basically added all of these items in there, and it was everything that I had originally shown. And I added a sunscreen. I also added a full-size clip, and my Pro Max will stand up in this bag. Okay, so this one fits a ton more, probably those two combined and then some. It is bigger, as you can see, but you see how easy it was to zip. You can, like I said, wear this in both the top handle and that. So the pros of this is, obviously she is 20 something years old. She still looks good. This, what little gold is on here, it is 24 plated gold. So it's still looking great, even though of her vintage age. I think she's held up really well. I just love a good like vintage piece. I just love it when I find a good vintage piece that I could kind of wear it in different ways. I think it's really cute. Also, like the price point on this when I got her was really good, because I did source her myself. And yeah, like I would say I like all of them, right? It's just the different vibes that you get for each one. I also love the newer ones. Honest, now that I'm holding everything, you know, next to each other, I actually really like this one. I mean, the new one is adorable. I love the top handle. If only this one had a top handle, I think it'd be perfect. But for me, like, I like to know I can carry just a little bit more. It doesn't have to be a ton. So I do like that there's space in here. I think their mirror is needed in here. I feel like they could have done something else with that, but I do like this bag on. I think it looks really cute on. I mean, but that one does too. So I don't know. They all have their pros and cons, you know, but I just thought I would come in here. I actually never really done any reviews on Chanel vanity, so thought this would be helpful. And yeah, that concludes my comparison of these 3 vanities when it comes to vintage and new. Oh, by the way, the price point on this, I think I got this one for, I want to say like under $1,200. So that's a pretty good deal, I think, for her. And then for the new one, I think they retail for $3,500 plus tax. I'll drop it over here. I can't remember the top of my head, but yeah, obviously within every year, Chanel will increase prices. That's just the way it is. And then I'm sure like a year from now, this will probably increase too, right? But I believe this is a seasonal piece. If you guys want that, it's still in stores. Go get it now before that price increases, or they don't have the bag anymore because it is seasonal. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.